今日はこのまま返しませんよ、美和さん。雨止んでよかったですね。今日はこのまま返しませんよ、美和さん。
Mikadono Sisters episode number 11, my friends. I was chatting I think it was last week, maybe the week before. No, I'm pretty sure it was last week. About who I thought would be like the winner, right? Like who is going to be like the girl of choice for you. Now, of course, we don't know where this anime is going to be heading, and we only have one episode left at this point. Next week is the final episode of Mikadono Sisters. So we're not going to actually get anything this season, but, you know, theoretically down the line or in the source material, you have to imagine that there's an end game, you know, whether it is a harem route to where, you know, somehow, some way, you spreads the love 3 ways and the girls are all okay with just being with you or whatever. Or it's a quintessential quintuplet type deal to where only one of the girls or only one of the sisters will win and everybody else, you know, will have had feelings for, but really only one of the girls kind of comes out as like the wedding day winner. Now, one of you guys asked me in the comments, was like, you know, who do you think it is? And in my heart of hearts, I've said, you know, hey, 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐥, like she's the best girl. You know, that purple hair, it does it for me. I love her attitude. I love how she has like, you know, a hard outer shell, but she's creamy in the center type deal. You know, I love that she's so much taller than you. You know, as a fellow short man, the height thing doesn't bother me. I like that it doesn't bother our short king Yuu either. And I just really like their dynamic when they're together. I think that Yuu brings out something special in her. And she has the most similarity to his mom as well, too, being in that acting industry. So although it sounds really weird, but it's kind of his chance to get like a redo, to get close and have a relationship with somebody in the industry with his understanding of it from how his mom lived and what she wasn't getting in life. He can kind of supply that and have a real understanding. So she's my favorite. But to answer the question truthfully, I think out of the 3 girls, I think Miwa is going to end up being the winner. I just think that the way the story is written seems, and I know right now we're in the Miwa, you know, story arc phase, and it's like, oh, well, of course you picked that because we're kind of deep in it right now. But regardless of that fact, even after we've kind of moved on, I had this vibe earlier when they had like the picture, right, when they were kids, and Miwa was the one kind of holding on to the picture, and Yuu did his best to kind of recreate that, and she was kind of playing around with, you know, with Yuu of like, you know, ooh, whose picture is it, whatever. And she was the one to kind of see all the actions and what Yuu did to really recreate that moment for them, but for her. And I think once Yuu kind of puts those pieces together and he sees Miwa and Miwa sees him, and I just feel like they have like this, I feel like the writer is writing it in a way for them to have this kind of chemistry, that they'll just kind of be magnetic towards each other. So, you know, I picked Miwa as I think she'll be the winner. Again, in my heart of hearts, I think 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞 is the best girl. I think that, you know, if I had to choose, if it was me, you know, whatever, but it's not, right? It's Yuu as a character. And it's the way that the author's trying to kind of write this upcoming blooming story. And I think that he's going to definitely continue to impact all 3 of their lives severely in a very positive way. But I think the one that kind of breaks through that barrier of, you know, family into love, right? Because they can still be they can still have the family he imagines. He can still be like brother-in-law, whatever, to all of them. But I think the one that breaks through the barrier into romance, I think, is going to end up being Miwa. I hope I'm wrong. I really want it to be 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐽. I really think my purple hair queen deserves to kind of break through that. But just kind of the writing on the wall tells me that Miwa will be the one to break through it. You guys can let me know. Now, as far as the episode goes, it was really just, you know, Miwa's redemption story, right? She loses her big shogi match, and we find out, you know, through her, you know, through Yuu's tenacity to go and hunt her down and find her, we kind of find out that she has a lot of misgivings, that she has a lot of differentiation when it comes to motivation in life. And you know, her sister, you know, one does, you know, judo, karate, whatever, and that's her passion and she loves it. And the other one does acting and she, you know, that's her passion and she loves it. And they put themselves in everything. But Miwa over here, on the other hand, does shogi, but she, like she said, she could have done chess, she could have done checkers, she could have done something else, because her brain power, you know, it could be implemented into those separate categories. But she does this because she got actionable feedback from her dad. She got praise from her sisters. So she kind of felt like, okay, this is what I should do. But she's not really doing it for herself. And, you know, as the episode goes on, Yu takes her to, you know, they have a funny moment where she thinks he's taking her to a love hotel, and she gets all in her own mind about it. But he ends up taking her to the school after they do some little shopping and stuff, and they make some treats for the sisters. And in that moment, he talks about how no one's motivations are necessarily wrong. Just because you have someone over here doing something for, you know, themselves or for what they feel like is something that they have to do, you doing something for others and feeling like that's something you have to do is equally as important. Like, he's like, you're putting yourself into what you're doing because you love your father, you love your sisters, you love your family, you love the way that, you know, it's this feedback loop back and forth. Those are still genuine emotions, and there's still a lot of value in doing something because of that. And I just like he course corrected her, set her on the right path, and, you know, made her just kind of fall deeper in love with him, so much so that she kissed a marshmallow that she painted like him. At least she didn't sneak a kiss, but, you know, she could have. So I just thought that was just a really genuine and charming and a really adorable moment that Miwa had this episode. So yeah, another great week of Mikadono Sisters, guys. Thank you guys for being with me all season long. We have one more episode left to watch together. Hopefully they end off on a banger. That would be the most ideal. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys being with me all season long. I'll see you guys next week for episode number 12. Peace.